Alright everyone, if I sound a little bit croaky, it's because the trees are fornicating with each other. This time of year that happens, and I have allergies to certain tree pollen, so I can't really help myself, but I'll try to muddle through. Slam down some ibuprofen later, see what happens with congestion. Trump has done something that seems really weird at first, and the corporate media, of course, has come out and lambasted him on it. And that's offered to meet with Kim Jong Un. And saying, oh yeah, it would be an honor to meet with him. But when you think about it a little bit more deeply, it's actually a genius move, and that's this. There is a virtually 0% chance that Kim Jong Un is actually going to meet with Donald Trump. If he did extend an offer, oh yeah, okay, I'll meet with you, you know, Mr. President of the United States, what do you think that it would entail? It would probably entail Trump going to North Korea without guards or anything, and then having to bow and grovel and declare Kim Jong Un a god emperor or something. Excellent propaganda material. It's probably not going to happen. So now the onus is on the DPRK. If Trump intends to hardline the North Koreans, he has to make it look like Kim Jong Un is ungracious. Do you think that Kim Jong Un at this stage in the game is going to come out and say, oh yeah, it would be an honor to meet with Trump too? You think that that's reasonable? He's putting the onus on a party that, because of its insular policy, can't really reciprocate the sort of accolades that politicians typically give one another when they're talking about how wonderful and stupendous it will be to shake each other's hands. That's what happens. There's a hell of a lot of sort of ceremonialism that goes on in political meetings, especially when two individuals who lead nations are meeting for the first time. That one or both of them has actually been in those positions. You'd think of Trump, first meeting to Japan, very cordial. First meeting with Merkel, not so much. Yeah, that's not coincidental either. Sort of lambasting her a bit. Trump's meeting with the Chinese, certainly summoning Duterte. Why do you think Duterte was summoned to the White House? Oh yeah, come over here. Oh, let's meet. Let's be best buddies. Do you think that it's actually because Trump is ma bigotry, ma violence, or do you think it's because, oh yeah, there are problems happening in Asia right now, and I want everyone to be on the same boat, basically, agree in spirit? He's then meeting with the leaders of Singapore and Thailand. It seems like Trump's early diplomatic maneuvering is really, really East Asia heavy. Philippines, Thailand, Taiwan was one of the first. China, Japan, South Korea. Yeah, it's pretty Asian heavy. Right after some of our closer friends in Western Europe and then Canada. Other than that, it's all about Asia right now. Why do you think he's doing that? So I think that this is part of a strategy. What you do is, in his political position, he says, oh yeah, it'd be an honor to meet with Kim Jong Un. That'd be wonderful if we can, you know, shake hands and stuff. Do you think that's going to happen? No. And so the media will crucify Trump and say, well, he's way out there for thinking that the North Korean leadership will actually sit down with him and shake his hand. Like there was a time when we tried to do that with the North Koreans, in fact, repeatedly. And they always snubbed the advance. They said, oh yeah, okay, maybe we'll meet. And then it never actually happened. So now this time around, when it doesn't happen, it takes some of the heat off of him for being an aggressor or perturbing the North Koreans, because it makes them look like, diplomatically speaking, they're a mad dog. Easy strategy. An easy win for Trump, which is probably what he's doing. I don't think he harbors any illusion that he's actually going to go to North Korea. You know, sit down in Pyongyang and have a meal with Kim Jong Un. I don't think the Secret Service would even allow him to do that. I think they'd be like, Mr. President, you're the President of the United States. You've got lots of leeway, but this is one thing. We're going to have to, like, give you knockout pills and drag you into a bunker instead of you doing this. At some point, they would tell him it's not a good idea. I don't think that that anybody in the government would want him to actually attend such a function. You know, you might get poisoned by Kim Jong Un. You might get randomly shot by Kim Jong Un. There might be a massive diplomatic crisis to end all diplomatic crises. Can you imagine what happens? Trump stubs his toe in North Korea, it'd be international news. They won't even, they'll send an ambassador. They'll have some diplomat they send. They're not going to allow the president to go to Pyongyang. They wouldn't send Mike Pence. They wouldn't send the Secretary of Defense. Anyone who has potentially any access at all to significantly classified info probably is never going to set foot on North Korean soil. So this puts the onus on a state that can't actually reciprocate. They can't sit down and shake hands with Donald Trump, because Kim Jong Un will not leave North Korea. There's a vague possibility of all possibilities that you could get someone from the higher echelons of North Korean leadership to go to China. And in fact, some higher-ups within the military there, they do attend functions in China. ROK, they'll send like a lower-level diplomat. But with a lot of countries, North Korea has no diplomatic presence. They don't have any presence whatsoever. They've got no embassy. They've got no consulate or anything like that. They're very, very insular. Mostly it's China and, to a lesser degree, South Korea. That's basically it. I don't even think that they really travel to and from Russia for the most part. So Trump's not going to meet with him. No, Trump's not going to sit down with Kim Jong Un. If he did, it'd probably take the form of Trump saying, oh, you know, we're probably going to have to attack your country if you don't give up the atomic program. And then Kim Jong Un being, you know, very angry about this fact and probably ordering a preemptive strike or something. So I don't think anyone's going to be willing to have that happen. It's actually a smart move. At least diplomatically it's smart, and as far as his political strategy, it's smart. You can disagree on whether perturbing North Korea is a smart idea, but certainly this sort of defangs their rhetoric about, oh, U.S. aggressor, U.S. uninterested in diplomacy, just wants to wipe us off the face of the earth. Because now he's openly declared to the world, yeah, I would sit down and meet with the dude, which is something Obama never suggested he would do. Yeah, I'll sit down, shake his hand, we'll have a good meeting. But he's not going to have a good meeting with him. It's just not going to happen. That's about all. Peace out.